Welcome guys to another video, and in this video I'm gonna be testing the last of bugs part 1 on PC in 8K. Yes, I did Resident Evil in 8K. Now I'm gonna be using doing the Last of Us in 8K. That's a WhatsApp message, don't pay attention to it. So I'm gonna be using my RTX 4090 because it's the only GPU that can do 8K. It can handle, the VRAM requirements of the 8K resolution, especially for this game because this game is a VRAM hog. I'm using the latest drivers. I'm using the Intel i7 13700K as usual, 32 gigs of RAM, and my screen is not actually 8K, it's just 4K, but I'm using NVIDIA DSR to fake 8K. So it is actually native 8K, but in my screen I'm just seeing 4K. I'm not seeing actually like 8K. So here in the GPUs you can see all the GPU specs, and okay, so let's go try it. All right, here's the game. Let me see what resolution. Actually, 8K, native 8K did not want to work. It's just straight up crashed. Nothing working with 8K. I tried. The only thing that is working, like with AMD FSR quality, even the LSS quality did not want to work. It keeps crashing, and even with FSR too, its quality is it's just not running good. But it is upscaling to 8K, so it's better than just like native 6K. It's rendering the game at 6K, but it's running it at 8K. All right, so this is the most demanding area of the game. So it should be like from here, like from this point forward. As soon as I get out of this area, it's gonna be more than the frame rate that I'm gotten right now. But just to let you know, this is the most intensive area of the game, the whole game. I played the game, I beat it in like 4K. But it's like this area is just like very intensive. So here we get like 26, 25 FPS to 30. Around this whole area. This is I mean, it's not, it doesn't have lights or anything ray tracing, but it is very intensive on the GPU to render this area because it has a lot of reflections. And those reflections, I think they are ray traced. They are ray traced reflections because they are very accurate. Because in the options it says real-time reflections. So the reflections and the shadows and the ambient occlusion, so three of them, probably ray traced because it says real-time ambient occlusion, real-time shadows, and real-time reflections. All right, so this is with FSR quality. It's running like from 26 to 30, 25 FPS to 30 FPS. It is actually playable. It's not like not even playable at 8K. It is actually playable if you use FSR quality. So now I'm gonna do FSR performance and see how much of a bump am I gonna get. I'm gonna do performance first. So it's rendering it at 4K, but upscaling it to 8K. All right, so it still seems like it's running worse than native 4K, but it looks better than native 4K because of the whole algorithm and stuff. But it is running worse than like native 4K. Native 4K in this area, like the least FPS that I got was probably 58, 59 FPS, and here last time I'm getting 40, 49, 38. Yeah, I mean, even that intensive, the most intensive area of the whole game, is this puddle. This puddle right here is like the most intensive area. I don't know why, but it's the most intensive area of the whole game. It's even in that, it's giving me like 37 FPS, 38 FPS. And this puddle is not as much as the other one. It's not as much intensive as the other one, but it's still, it's still a puddle. As long as I'm not looking at the puddle or like something that has reflections, I'm running at more than 40 FPS, but as soon as I look at a puddle, it's like it dips to the 30s. but at least it's like 36 and higher, not like low 30s, not like straight 30. So, and this is with performance. So let me try ultra performance here. Ultra performance should be interesting. Oh, so right out of the bat, 50 FPS, but it's like it dipped down to the high 40s. So 46 is the lowest that I have seen. Look at those 100% FPS. Like it's like 6 FPS. Wow. All right, so I think, and it still looks much better than native 4K, to be honest. It's just like sometimes the sharpness, some objects are like much sharper, but when like overall it's like still looking much better than native 4K. Native 4K has nothing to do on it, like nothing on this. Look at those. The the only thing that I had a problem with when I'm using upscaling with native 4K, like if I do native 4K, the fences, they look good. As soon as I implement like any upscaler, like introduce FSR quality or the NVIDIA quality, those fences, they start being fizzly and all shimmery and blurry. They don't look good. But here, even like the game is rendered at 1440p and upscaling it to 8K, and it looks better. It looks better than native 4K with the FSR. So if I have the game rendering like at 4K and then use FSR or like DLSS quality and render it at 1440p and upscale to 4K, is gonna look worse than this. But also we have a performance drop. Like here in this area, when I used FSR quality or uh, NVIDIA DLSS with 4K, it goes up to the 80s. It doesn't just like hold in the 40s. The CPU is still being like really used. I mean, 26. That's that's really something, you know. It says something because the CPU is not supposed to be um that like it's supposed to be 11%, 2% because it's 8K. The higher the resolution is, the lower the CPU usage. But in this area, in this case, because I think, as I said, these reflections and the shadows and the lighting, especially the lighting, I think it's ray traced. Everything is ray traced, but they don't say that it's ray tracing. They say it's like real time rendering, which is another word for ray tracing, like real time ray tracing. Um, yeah, so as long as I'm not looking at a puddle or anything reflective, it goes like 50, 55, 54, and then when I turn to the puddle, it's like 47, 46. Because water and vegetation are the most intensive things for a GPU to render. So this is 4K, 8K with DLSS or FSR at ultra performance, and it's still looking better than native 4K. Still looking like miles better than native 4K. It's really good. Native 8K did not even want to work. I know that it's gonna be like 15 to probably 10 FPS in this area, but as long it should work. But as long as I'm using FSR, it's gonna work all the time. 8K did not even as soon as I enable 8K like native, the game crashes. So this is me trying the game at 8K, even though I couldn't do it at 8K native, but it's something. Yeah, it's even with FSI, it's still outputting an 8K signal. It's just like rendering it at lower resolution and then upscaling it to that signal, to that 8K signal. All right, guys, see you in the next video.